up, guys? Like number one here today, ladies and gentlemen. I am back once again with another Who Would Win battle. And once again, I am joined by my oh so great friend. Do introduce yourself, sir.
It is me, the Sky Wolfman, back at it once again with my friend Sonic.
Oh yeah. So, Christmas is coming around the corner, and it's gonna be a chilly time. And when I think of chilly times, I don't know why, but I think of people who can control very cold abilities. Now, Skyward, what person comes to your mind when you think of the cold?
Mr. Freeze, the walking Iceman with Mr. Freeze.
A very interesting choice. I thought you was gonna say Santa Claus.
Well, yeah, I would have said Santa Claus, but I guess...
Iceman. I don't know why, but when Iceman comes to mind, I think of none other than the cryokinetic ninja himself, a Sub-Zero.
And you've already heard me say it, Mr. Freeze.
So that's who we're pinning against each other, ladies and gentlemen. We're pinning possibly the two most famous ice power users in all of fiction. So let's find out, in our detailed analysis, who is going to come out on top. Who is going to be number one? But most importantly, who would win?
And also, who is the cooler?
Ah ha ha, ching.
Oh, that was just terrible.
Oh, come on, it was a pretty cool joke.
Hey, don't give me the cold shoulder.
How can I? I'm already on thin ice.
Oh, okay, you beat me on that one.
Alright, enough sliding about. Let's get into it. So, Skyward Wolfman, do tell us the origins of Dr. Freeze.
Well, be sure to listen to me break the ice.
Ha! Good one.
Okay, so his name is Victor Freeze. He's Caucasian, and with his suit, he's at least 6 foot 8 inches tall. Without his suit, he's only 6 foot.
Huh? That's funny. I thought he was 6'5" and played by a very famous Austin actor by the name of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Was it?
Yeah, we don't talk about that. Yeah,
just kidding.
Mr. Freeze is tall as fuck in his suit. Like, jeez.
Like 6'8". No. Has he ever considered playing ice ball?
Okay, enough with the ice puns. They're no bad.
Ice, gotta give you that one.
Okay.
Right, enough now.
Good.
Let's get serious.
So, origin, right?
Si, senor.
Well, when Victor Freeze was just a child, he had a hobby of freezing animals in order so that they can continue to exist in the future. Worried about this behavior, his parents sent him to a strict boarding school where Victor felt outcast.
No.
However, he met and befriended a young woman named Nora, and the two fell in love and later married.
No.
But their happiness was short-lived. Nora was diagnosed with a fatal disease, and Freeze... Did I say Freeze twice?
Not sure.
Well, she had a fatal disease, and Freeze was stricken with sorrow and attempted to save her using cryogenic technology. However, the experiment went terribly wrong, and Freeze's equipment malfunctioned, consuming him and his lab in an explosion of ice.
Well, dang.
And, yeah, somehow Victor survived, but now his body healed from temperatures, and Nora's condition was now even more serious. In an effort to continue his wife's treatment, he later constructed a suit which allowed him to protect him in his altered state. Mr. Zero, he began to rob several banks to get money. He was eventually thwarted by Batman and Robin, but hold on. As Mr. Zero, and later his new alias, he uses a cryogenic technology to create a gun which fires a beam that freezes any target within its range. After faking his death, he rearranged his costume and returned, calling himself Mr. Freeze. continues to fight Batman and Robin, all while searching for a cure for his wife.
So I guess that means he's not all bad?
Yeah, really, he's a sympathetic villain that's just forced to do things that are, in order to save his wife. He doesn't really have any malicious intent towards Batman or any other heroes. He just wants to save his wife.
I guess as the old saying goes, a man will go to any length to protect and save the woman he loves.
Exactly.
I think Batman can actually relate to that sometimes.
Absolutely, but that's why he's less harsh.
Wow, when you think about it, Mr. Freeze's story is really sad.
It really is sad, and that's beautifully recreated by the almighty Paul Dini, who wrote the Batman animated series and introduced Mr. Freeze to the modern era.
Oh, praise be Paul Dini, who gave us Kevin Conroy.
Yes, Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman.
Fuck yes.
What's the origin behind your character, Sub-Zero?
Oh, wait till you hear this roller coaster of a story. Thousands upon thousands of years ago, in China, there was one mighty clan of ninjas that would explore the world and do whatever they pleased for power. They were known as the Lin Kuei. Destroying villages, stealing money, anything they wanted, they would get. Even stealing children to force them to grow up to be strong ninjas like themselves. And one day, they luckily came across two little boys which had extraordinary powers hidden within. The older brother was named Bei Han, and he became a ninja first, as he was the oldest. He was trained in many ninja arts, and was trained to use his hidden powers, which happened to be cryokinesis. He would don a blue suit, fighting anyone the Lin Kuei or the people that the Lin Kuei answered to desired. He went under the alias of Sub-Zero. He traveled the world and became a deadly warrior. Almost no one could take on this mighty warrior known as Sub-Zero. But one day, fate decided to give Sub-Zero a bit of a super big heads up. An evil sorcerer known as Quan Chi decided to manipulate a warrior that was killed by none other than himself. His name was Hanzo Hisashi, a great Japanese ninja warrior, part of the Shirai Ryu. He not only brought him back, but manipulated him into thinking Sub-Zero killed his family. And so now Hanzo had one goal. He wanted to kill Sub-Zero. Even though he was heeded by the god himself, fucking Raiden, not to kill Sub-Zero, he did it anyway, out of pure rage. And Bei Han was dead. Outraged by this, the younger brother, Kuai Liang, learned ninja abilities and learned how to control his powers. And he took under his code name was Tundra. But after he found out who killed his brother, he went under his alias and now became the new Sub-Zero. He found the person who killed his brother and fought him in mortal combat and claimed victory with almost near flawlessly, for he seemed to be better than his older brother. Somehow, he seemed to have a way more natural ability with his ice powers and way more creativity. The new Sub-Zero would go on to help the defenders of Earthrealm, even becoming the new Grand Master of the Lin Kuei, and turning it around to be a helpful group, another group of evil. With the added powers of the Dragon Medallion being the Grand Master, Sub-Zero became the most deadliest warrior in all of Earthrealm. Not even the mighty warrior and two-time champion of Mortal Kombat Liu Kang could stand up to this man. And guess what? He did all this, and he's not even 40 years old yet. Earthrealm, Outrealm, the heavens above, and the Netherrealm fear the name Sub-Zero, the cryokinetic ninja warrior.
Nice.
So
why don't
Also,
we talk
forgot to mention, Sub-Zero stands at, you're gonna be shocked by this. He stands at 6'6". His race is technically Asian, Chinese Asian, I must say. And age is between 32 and 38 years old.
Wow.
Yep. Also, his real name is Kuai Liang, as he is the current Sub-Zero.
Right. So, why don't we talk about strength that these two possess?
Alright. Looking into the statistics, the true categories. So, strength. How strong is Mr. Freeze?
While he possesses normal human strength without the suit, when he wears the suit, he has superhuman strength. May not be as strong as Bane, but he's still above Batman's level of strength.
Woo! And if I remember correctly, isn't Batman able to bench press like 1,000 pounds?
And leg press 1,500 pounds.
Woo! 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 Batman! He never skips a day at the gym.
He never does.
So how much you reckon Mr. Freeze could lift? Just as a guess.
Guess he at least like I don't know, like maybe be strong enough to lift a car over his head.
Damn, that's about 2,000 pounds of weight, or one metric ton.
Yeah, 1 ton seems to be reasonable.
Whew, not bad, especially for that suit.
Right.
Well then, so we got Mr. Freeze being Mr. Carlifter over here.
Now, what about Sub-Zero?
Well, he doesn't seem to have many feats of lifting strength, but he is able to uppercut people that weigh easily 500 pounds of weight, at least 10 feet into the air, with minimal problem.
Wow.
And one time, he shattered a titanium statue with one single karate chop.
Yeah, and that is incredible.
And do you know how tough titanium actually is?
It's definitely tougher than ice.
Oh, let me tell you, as I know my metals, regular steel has a breaking point of about 20,000 pounds, and titanium has been stated to be 5 times stronger than steel, meaning Sub-Zero can chop with a force over 10,000 pounds.
Gee, okay. I think we're gonna have to give the point to Sub-Zero on this one.
Yep, not only is he able to uppercut 500-pound robots and people, he's able to chop with a force of over 10,000 pounds. If he wanted to, he could literally karate chop a whole person in half.
Yeah.
And do you know, and it wouldn't be impossible, because do you know how many pounds of force it takes to crush a human? Just a regular one?
How much?
It only takes about 1,000 actually.
Wow.
So yeah, he can literally crush a person 10 times over.
Yeah, that is a stupid amount of strength.
I know, but you know what the funny thing is? He's technically only human. No one knows if he's technically classed as superhuman or not.
Right?
I mean, he possibly is technically, maybe not superhuman, but, well, actually, yes. With him having special powers, I guess he is superhuman.
And Mr. Freeze is a mutate.
Yeah. Hold on, I actually want to get this out of the way. Is Sub-Zero technically a superhuman because he has hidden powers, or is he a meta?
Superhuman and metahuman are basically the same thing.
Yeah, I suppose so. So yeah, Sub-Zero technically is a superhuman, but there's the word, human. He's still an Earthling.
Mr. Freeze.
So yep. So strength easily goes to Sub-Zero.
Now how about speed?
Okay, well, if I may, Sub-Zero is a pretty fast warrior. For obvious reasons. Reason 1, he's a ninja. Ninjas have always been known to be fast warriors, even in real life. Reason 2, he can actually make himself faster by using his Ice Slide ability. He can, in the game itself, not the cutscenes, if you are on one edge of the screen and your opponent's on the other, you can basically get to the other side with the Ice Slide ability within literally a second. And the distance in the game has been measured to be almost nearly 30 feet apart.
Wow.
So yeah, 30 feet in literally a second. He could almost literally do 100 feet within 3 seconds. He could cover so much mileage.
He would.
But if that's not enough, guess what? He technically has an ice teleportation ability.
Yeah, an ability that confuses even his fellow assassins.
Yeah, I mean, he turns into ice, falls into the ground, and appears as a block of ice back to human wherever the fuck he wants to.
Yeah.
So yeah, not only is he fast on his feet and thanks to his ice slide, he technically can teleport. So how fast is Mr. Freeze?
He's as fast as a normal human is, but his suit makes him a bit slower.
Yeah, I have noticed that his suit always seems to be slightly bulky.
And he isn't really known for being very fast.
I don't know why he doesn't take a page out of Captain Cold's book and use his ice to make himself a slide to go faster.
Right?
You think with him being so smart, he'd be able to do something someone who's sometimes an absolute idiot can do. I mean, seriously, whatever the name of Captain Cold is, I think it's something Snard. He's not exactly a genius, but he managed to figure that out himself.
Right.
So,
Alright.
who does this go to then?
This goes to Sub-Zero. Again.
Okay, so far, 2 points have gone to Sub-Zero. So, what is the next category?
Stamina and durability.
Do tell us, how much stamina and how durable is Mr. Freeze?
Thanks to being a mutate that's been mutated by ice explosion, now possesses pain and is complete. However, he cannot survive in room temperature without his suit. Without it, he'll be severely weakened and sickly. In hot areas, he will die.
Oh, so in a way he's kind of like a fish?
Well, not really a fish because he's still active when it's cold.
No, I'm just meaning it's similar. Like, if you put a fish out in the dry sun, it'll die because it needs constant moisture.
Oh yeah, something like that, except it's with ice.
Fair enough.
And also, can we count,
Can we count what, sorry?
as being part of his durability?
Technically, yes.
Alright, I'll add that in. With his armor, he has, it basically covers his entire body except for his head, which is basically shielded by a glass dome.
Interesting.
It's strong enough to block bullets and protect against heat, cold, and punches.
Well, dang. What would you say the suit is made out of?
I don't know.
Most likely, I would say, for installation purposes, I feel like Mr. Freeze's glass dome would be made out of tempered glass, so that it's slightly bulletproof and hard to break.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's just my scientific opinion on his glass dome. His armor, I'm not entirely sure of.
And yet Batman was able to punch through the tempered glass dome.
Well, I have one reason why he can do that.
Because he's Batman.
Because he's Batman.
Alright, so Zero's stamina and durability.
Well, this is probably going to be a bit obvious to some people, but Sub-Zero has an incredible amount of stamina, being a ninja and all. But not just because he's a ninja, also because he's a martial artist. Now, there are different staminas depending on different people, but ninjas who are both, well, ninja-like and fire-like have an incredible amount of stamina. They have enough stamina to run for ages with little to no tiring, and still have enough to fight for about a good hour before they either have to run away or finish off their opponents because, well, they'll feel like this is getting ridiculous and they need to get moving. At most, I say Sub-Zero is above athletic stamina, like most athletes in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And he's definitely above most warriors in like Shaolin temples. He's above their level of stamina.
Right.
In terms of durability, he's really tough. he can take multiple punches and kicks like they were nothing. With literally, he can take in a barrage of attacks and barely get a bruise sometimes. Although really strong attacks will hurt him eventually, like a sword strike will cut through him or puncture him. He's not impenetrable, and while yes, he did kind of have slight armor in Mortal Kombat Deception, but the sad thing is, even though that was armor, it only provided light protection regardless. So most weapons like swords and axes would still go through. So even if he had that, it wasn't exactly useful. But still, even with or without armor, Sub-Zero is a durable motherfucker. He can take a hell of a beating from anyone.
Sure can.
I mean, hell, he's taken hits from other fellow superhumans, demons, sorcerers, and gods.
Damn.
And in technicality, in the new timeline, he's the only character not to die.
Wow.
Also, I actually kind of want to mention something from the Mortal Kombat X comics. I don't know if this would count as durability or not, or maybe it's because of magic, but this happened one time. When he was Cyber Sub-Zero, Raiden somehow used his lightning powers to destroy him and then reconfigure his body back to being human. But guess what? He wasn't dead. He was still conscious through the entire event. So he got destroyed and reconfigured.
He's one tough son of a bitch.
And guess what? He barely screamed at all. He did complain at Raiden for a bit of a while, but other than that, he was conscious for the entire of that event and barely screamed at all. I have no words. That is just pure badassery.
Yeah. So, what do you say?
Okay, if they were both not wearing armor, Sub-Zero easily wins in the durability part. But with the fact that Sub-Zero doesn't technically wear armor now in MK10, and the fact that Mr. Freeze does, I feel like Mr. Freeze has the edge because of armor, because he can survive bullet shots, heat, and punches, whereas Sub-Zero will get punctured by guns and swords with enough force. He's not invulnerable.
Yeah, he isn't.
So if it was outside of their suits, Sub-Zero wins without a shadow of a doubt, but because of his armor, Mr. Freeze kind of wins durability.
Alright.
But what about stamina? Who do you reckon has the better stamina?
I think it would be Mr. Freeze, since he would be alive after being frozen to death.
Isn't that more to do with durability?
Stamina and durability are pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, they do intertwine, but in some ways they are a bit different.
Okay, then, yeah, I think Sub-Zero has the better stamina.
Okay then. So, what is next?
It's martial arts.
Oh, very good. So, then, should I go first? Or would you like to go first?
I think I'd like to go first.
Then do ahead. Do go on ahead. Does Mr. Freeze know how to put him up, so to say?
Well, as far as martial arts go, he doesn't seem to know any, although he's somehow able to defend himself against Batman sometimes.
Well, damn. He can defend himself against people like Batman. I will give him that. That's impressive.
That is impressive.
And seeing how Batman in the comics technically knows every martial art in the world, that takes some skill to be able to defend against all that.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, all of the martial arts in the world, and Mr. Freeze can sometimes defend himself against all of them? Jesus.
It's crazy.
So, I suppose I'll talk about Sub-Zero's martial arts.
Alright, go ahead, man.
Well, now, as funny as this may be, the word ninja is a bit of an umbrella term. There's many variations for ninjas, but I'll talk about the ones that specifically tailor to Sub-Zero. He knows taijutsu, the physical art of fighting like a ninja. Ninjutsu, the art of being sneaky and stealthy. Iaijutsu, the art of sword battle, as Sub-Zero has two types of swords, a regular metal one and one he makes out of ice. He also knows the special ninja style of using equipment such as smoke bombs or his ice abilities to his advantage to distract or incapacitate his opponents. Also, in a way, with his ice abilities, he can kind of create illusions for his opponents, so he knows a form of genjutsu.
Yeah.
Not only that, he knows dragon-style kung fu. He knows Shotokan, which is, funny enough, this Shotokan's used in both China and Japan as a form of karate.
The way it's pronounced Shotokan.
I guess what is pronounced Shotokan.
Okay.
Anywho, he also seems to know a few moves from Wing Chun. He also knows various moves from Shaolin Kung Fu, and he is very well versed at using his ice slide to literally trip his opponents under their feet. So he has a new version of a sweep kick that he invented himself.
Wow, he made his own sweep kick?
Yep.
Damn.
And he's not afraid to use a headbutt, which is not common in the martial arts I described, but a headbutt is used in such fighting styles such as Muay Thai. So yeah, and he also does some sick pro wrestling drop kicks. Yeah, like he does pro wrestling double foot drop kicks.
Wow.
So yeah, he knows quite a few martial arts, to say the least.
So, might do.
Well, this is tough. I mean, you did say Mr. Freeze has been able to defend himself against people like Batman, who technically in the comics knows every martial art in the world, and somehow Sub-Zero only knows. Sadly, Sub-Zero doesn't know every martial art, where he probably has seen every martial art because he fights a lot of different fighters in his world, but he probably doesn't know how to do them all. So, even though Sub-Zero actually knows how to fight against Mr. Freeze, Mr. Freeze probably knows how to defend himself against it regardless. So, it's tough to say. I mean, if it was an actual hand-to-hand fight, Sub-Zero wins, but if it was a defense contest, I feel like Mr. Freeze has it a little bit better.
How about a tie?
We'll opt out and say it's a tie. Sub-Zero's good at being on the offensive, but Mr. Freeze is really good at being on the defensive.
Exactly.
So yeah, this is a tie. And as good as Sub-Zero is, I don't think he can out-martial art people like Batman.
And also, that in Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe, it isn't canon.
Although it'd be pretty sick if it was.
Yeah, but then again, they had Sub-Zero take down Batman.
And technically he became Batman in his storyline. Yeah, like literally, inspired by Batman, he became like Batman. He even wore a cape.
Jeez.
So, next I'm guessing is weapons?
No, I think up next is special moves, but it's a special move.
Yeah, sad thing is, Sub-Zero has a lot of special moves, such as the classic Ice Ball move, and he has an even more powerful version of that, the Ice Beam. He can make a ball of ice in the air and drop it, which is called his Ice Nugget ability. He also can make an Ice Sword. He can use his Ice Slide, Ice Teleportation. He can make an Ice Hammer, which he can either swing like a hammer or drop down, flipping Thor style with it. He can also make Ice Knives, and holy crap, there's a lot.
Yeah,
He can even encase himself in ice as a form of temporary armor.
I think Mr. Freeze loses the special moves category.
Yeah, even if he had some, I feel like Sub-Zero outclasses him anyway. Like, he has a crap ton.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is next up?
Power type.
Well, the funny thing is, don't they technically have the same ability? Cryokinesis?
Yeah, but Mr. Freeze uses technology for cryokinesis.
That is true, and Sub-Zero's cryokinesis is natural. He was born with this ability.
Yeah.
So the question is, which is better? I mean, Mr. Freeze's gun will eventually run out of ice water.
Right.
But Sub-Zero seems to never run out of stuff. Like, it's like literally a natural power to him.
Although, Freeze does have the advantage of having genius level intelligence.
I will give him that. Being a genius sometimes does help out in the midst of a battle. But Sub-Zero's no dumbass. He's a pretty great strategist, as he is. Well, as Grandmaster, in technicality, that's another name for leader. He's like the leader of the Lin Kuei. So he has to be smart himself. Maybe not a genius, but he's definitely more of a leader, like a leader level of intelligence.
Also, another thing is that sometimes his desire to live up to his brother's name has clouded his judgment before.
Yeah, that is a problem. He may think like a strategist and a leader, but the fact that he wants to be like his older brother does sometimes leave him being a little bit left in the dust and confused in the midst of battle.
Right.
Which is a rather shame. I'm like, come on, Sub-Zero, you're already better than your brother. Why would you want to live up to him? You already surpassed him.
Freeze, whose main is to save his wife, and with that he's able to do anything.
Yep, and it doesn't seem to cloud his judgment that much. Even when it seems like it does, it really actually doesn't. I mean, yes, he did. His judgment was clouded in Batman Arkham City when Nora was used against him to fight Batman, but you can't really blame him for that.
Yeah.
Whereas Sub-Zero, yeah, you can easily blame him from getting distracted, being like, oh god, what will my brother do in this situation? Sub-Zero, you do realize you're getting punched in the face, right? Focus! So yeah. So, powers is kind of hard, especially when you bring in their mental state.
Right. So, how about we give the powers to Mr. Freeze and Sub-Zero?
Yeah, let's say it's a tie. Even regardless of the mental state, their powers are somewhat even. Mr. Freeze would probably use his intelligence to conserve his ice powers, while Sub-Zero will probably spurt it out everywhere, being a little bit reckless.
Yeah, and up next, I believe, is weapons.
Goody gumdrops. May I take the floor? I'll take that as a yes. Well, Sub-Zero has he technically can make weapons with his ice abilities, but if we're talking about real weapons, he does have a Cory blade, which is a 4-foot long carbon ice steel sword, which has not one, not two, but 4 outward ridges on the blade itself, like literally hooks on the blade, and it is a thick sword. It's almost as big as most fantasy great swords you get in RPG game.
And so that's all for Sub-Zero?
Yeah, if we're talking real weapons, that's the only weapon he has. But if we're talking the ice weapons, he has his ice sword, which is a much thinner, more ninja-style sword. The ice hammer, which looks like Shao Kahn's hammer, which is meant to be a war hammer. And he also has ice daggers, which seem to be which is hard to tell. They kind of look either like throwing daggers from ninjas, from being like how ninjas have throwing daggers, or they kind of look like Shaolin monk training daggers. I would reckon to say it's kind of a mixture of both, seeing how Sub-Zero is a ninja and knows forms of Shaolin Kung Fu. So I'm gonna say it's kind of a mixture of both.
Right.
So yeah.
For Mr. Freeze, include a cryo gun, ice grenade, and heat-seeking robot missiles.
Wait. Did I just hear you right? Heat-seeking robot missiles. Sentient missiles. Okay. I knew Mr. Freeze was smart, but I didn't think he was that smart.
Yeah, apparently in the comics, this technology, like, build is equal to that of those on Apocalypse and Lex Luthor's technology.
Jesus!
Yeah, he's a smart cookie.
Why is it always bald men who are smart?
I don't know. It's a trend.
Lex Luthor, he's smart and bald. Mr. Freeze, smart and bald. The only person who's the only person who's smart but not bald is Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And also Tony Stark. And Reed Richards. My god, what's with Marvel not having bald smart men?
Right?
Anywho.
So yeah, like, how about we give the score for weapons to Mr. Freeze?
What does make you say that?
Because even though Sub-Zero is supposed to be an ice ninja and everything, he's still basically a human with a normal, like, body temperature.
Oh, I thought you would bring that up. That's actually where you're wrong. One time, Secretary actually used heat vision to try and detect Sub-Zero, but literally it did not work at all. His body temperature was below 0.
Oh, okay.
And Secretary is a high-tech cyborg, even though in reality he shouldn't be a cyborg, as he's all mechanical on the outside, so he should really be a robot.
Right. So yeah, I think, shit.
But, okay, but here's the thing though, even if Sub-Zero doesn't have a heat temperature, don't the robots see, couldn't the robots, like, see him if he was out in the open? Like, don't they have cameras?
Right.
Because I can swear in the Batman Arkham City game, even if you were hidden, if a robot sees you without detecting your heat, they'll see you, because you're there, out in the open.
Okay, it might have just had cameras.
But there lies the problem. Even if they did see Sub-Zero and try to charge him, he could either jump around them, or jump on them, or just teleport away from them.
So yeah, I think we're gonna give this to Sub-Zero.
Yeah, even though Mr. Freeze probably could keep him away for a good time with his robots and his ice gun, Sub-Zero can literally teleport to Mr. Freeze at any point in time he wants.
Right. And for...
well, special abilities, in a way, kind of ties into special powers. Sub-Zero doesn't seem to tire much when he's in cold environments, especially in the Lin Kuei temple he lives in. It seems to be in the Himalayas, which, as everyone should know due to geography, is a very, very cold place. And he never seems to get tired when he fights people there. He doesn't tire much in regular temperature places, but he does tire more often in places that aren't really cold.
Right.
Like, if you put him smack in a hot country like Africa, the dude is gonna be all sweaty, and he's gonna struggle to keep his stamina after a while. But if you put him in somewhere like the Himalayas, North Pole or South Pole, the dude will be fine. He seems to never tire. Which I guess in a way is kind of like Mr. Freeze. Huh. A lot more similarities than I thought there would be. Also, it does seem like when he's in ice places, his ice powers never seem to run out. Well, but whereas due to game mechanic or not, he doesn't seem to run out of it in hot environments, but they do seem a lot more powerful when he's in colder environments. Although, I would like to point out, as he is a ninja, he would be used to any terrain he gets put in, because that was the main thing for any ninja of any country in Japan or China. They had to get used to any terrain they had to go through.
Right.
Just thought I would like to point that out.
Alright, and there's no transformations, right?
Yeah, technically, seeing how this is MK10 Sub-Zero, he technically has no animalities. Whereas, if we did use the old Sub-Zero, he does turn into a polar bear, but I'm not using the old Sub-Zero, I'm using the brand new Sub-Zero, who technically doesn't have an animality.
Right.
And I don't know if you would count turning into a ice person as transformation or not.
No.
Yeah, I thought not. It's more of a metamorphosis when he does it.
Yeah.
Now I know people on YouTube are thinking, wait, isn't metamorphosis and transformation the same thing? No, it's not. Not even close.
Yep. Not even close.
So if you people think don't Power Rangers transform, no, they do not. They morph. It's a different thing. Transformation is more like turning into a Super Saiyan. That's more like a transformation. But anywho, so is that all the categories? Yeah, I believe that is it for categories now, as far as I know. So, shall we run down? Shall we tally up the score?
Sure.
Okay, going back through the list, strength went to Sub-Zero, speed went to a Sub-Zero, stamina went to Zero, but durability went to Mr. Freeze.
Right.
Special, their powers, I think we said was a tie. So that's a point each. Weapons went once again to Sub-Zero.
Okay.
I believe special abilities was a tie of sorts.
So, I guess, what do we make for a conclusion?
Well, if I did my calculations correctly, Mr. Freeze got about 3 points to him, but Sub-Zero got double that with 6 points.
Oh, damn. So, like, Sub-Zero won?
Yep, with the tally of 6 to 3, Sub-Zero wins this battle.
Thus, the winner is Sub-Zero.
Yes. Now, regardless of the point system, how would you like to quickly run a little scenario of how the battle would go?
Okay, I'll try to think of something. Well, Mr. Freeze would be, I don't know, like, for a scenario, I think that they would be in a frozen place where where they each have, like, something that they're both gonna fight over. And, like Mr. Freeze would try to freeze him, but Sub-Zero would outmaneuver him and take him down. Either by, like, crushing through his like, ice, or his, like, armor, and then just chilling him.
That does sound good, but correct me if I'm wrong, wouldn't freezing Mr. Freeze help him? I mean, sure, it would keep him frozen solid, but wouldn't that wouldn't kill him, but, what am I trying to say? That would beat him, but would that technically not kill him?
Yeah, but, like, Sub-Zero could, like, summon ice shards from his palm and just stab him through the skull with it.
Oh yeah, because one of his x-rays is that he literally digs his hand into you, grabs your stomach, turns into an stomach-filled icicle, and stabs it through your eye. Which sounds like it hurts a lot.
It does, and yet they somehow get back up from that.
Also, Sub-Zero is strong enough to rip a man's head and spine out perfectly.
Yeah, just like his old brother.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, how the fuck does he do that? Like, he not only takes the head off, which doesn't sound that hard, but he also pulls the spine away from the hips and the ribs perfectly.
This one's for you, Beyond.
Like,
I'm not sure how he does it.
Ninja magic.
Hello? Yeah, ninja magic.
Cryokinesis, son.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we decided that Sub-Zero would win.
Yep. But I would like to point out a little something. In a way, even if they were to meet up and possibly fight, if Sub-Zero knew the reason why Mr. Freeze had to do it, maybe he'd be a bit sympathetic.
Right, he would.
Because Sub-Zero knows probably more than anyone the pain of loss. I mean, his entire village got killed off when he was like 3 years old, and the only family he had left was his older brother, who got killed off.
Right.
So, that's gonna leave a big emotional scar on you. And it's funny, he has a scar over his eye.
And yet, in some cutscenes, it looks like ketchup splattered on his face.
Yeah. So, from a realistic standpoint, maybe Sub-Zero wouldn't kill Mr. Freeze because, I don't know, I feel like he would be sympathetic. Sub-Zero's not heartless.
Right. But then again, this is a death fight, so...
Well, not necessarily. Not all of my battles end in death. Some of them end in just the other guy being beaten, well, just being beaten down.
Oh, really? Okay. So yeah,
all
this
of
is
them end in death. What is this? Death battle?
Yeah, I thought so.
Hell no, I'm not making the same mistake those morons are making.
Oh, snap.
I wonder. I don't give a fuck.
So yeah, like...
So anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and thank you, Skyward, for joining me to help me with this today.
It's always been a pleasure working with you, man.
And if you guys really did like this, then you will like all the other Hooraways that are to come. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe on my channel and Skyward's channel. Link to his channel will be down below in the description.
Yeah.
Click the notification bell on both our channels so you know when we update a new video or anything in general. Because you do not want to miss a single thing.
Yeah.
So all we can say is season's greetings to everybody. Have a lovely snowy Christmas. And remember, you better chill out. Otherwise, Sub-Zero's gonna kill you.
Alright.
So, let's say goodbye, Skyward.
Alright. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.